I had a chance yesterday to spend several hours. I think it was probably 3 or 4, maybe more hours with a friend of mine. We've known each other for, I guess, about 5 years. And it's pretty fascinating having a conversation with her because she's in her 80s. She's a few decades ahead of me. And in addition to that, she's a world traveler. She's been all over the world as a flight attendant for American Airlines, as a soccer coach. She's worked with people in the Olympics. She's coached teams. She's traveled and taught and spoken for Stonecroft and other organizations all over the world. And she still writes and she still speaks and she still travels, and it's pretty fascinating. But when you listen to the way that culture has changed just in her lifetime, from being a young mom to being now a grandmother, it's pretty fascinating to listen to some of the things that were expected of her during World War II in England, where she grew up. We haven't experienced things like food rations and the limited number of coupons that you can get for a certain type of food or a certain type of thing. And during wartime, those things are pretty precious. In fact, she said one of the worst scoldings she ever received was for breaking a knitting needle. Now, I'm not much of a knitter, but if I'm not mistaken, a knitting needle today might be $5 if you have a really nice one. But in the day when everything was being diverted toward the war effort, all materials, all manufacturing, all everything was being diverted toward war efforts, the idea of making your own clothes at home was not a novelty, it was essential. And breaking a knitting needle meant you're down for now. You can't make any clothes at home, and you're going to have to shuffle some very precious limited funds from the food category or the other goods category into the I have to have a new knitting needle category. Now, I know you're asking yourself the question, what does all this have to do with leadership? We know that leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. We also need to understand that there's a wisdom that comes from accumulated facts over a period of time that is then filtered through, because knowledge is the gathering of facts. But wisdom is that gathered fact through the filter of experience. It's the ability to look at the things that you've learned and say, okay, I hear you saying this is an important idea. And while I might be able to regurgitate the dates and the times and how that happened, I can't really apply it to my own life just yet until I have an experience where that set of knowledge requires something of me in my own life. And when I do, then that knowledge with my experience becomes wisdom. Now, the shortcut to wisdom, if you will, is, well, it's through the minefield of a mentor. Knowing that the mentor has already walked through that minefield. They've already accumulated all those facts. They've already tested them all through failure. They've tested them all through experience. And they've come out the other side and said, these are the facts that are a bunch of crap. And these are the facts that are very valuable. These are the ones that, so what if you know them, they have no bearing on life. I can't figure out how to apply them. Or I tested them and they were lies. And these are the facts that matter. These are the ones that if you apply them to your life, life will be easier. You will avoid pitfalls. You will make it to where you're going faster and safer if you take these facts and apply this understanding and experience with it. The value that comes from spending time with people who've been down that road, whether they're in your industry or not, whether they have great accolades behind their name or not. The fact that they have made it this far in life and they're still alive is a pretty good sign. They've picked up some nuggets along the way that you could benefit from. Take some time and invest your time in people who have both knowledge and experience, and allow their wisdom to rub off on you, and it will save you a lot of pain and heartache over the course of your days. I'm J Loren Norris. Thank you for watching the Leading Leaders podcast on Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.